Hello, this is Rico Cavella, and this is your Fearless Aging TV show and podcast, where my guests and we do our best. We strive to offer you proven tips and strategies that you can implement immediately to greatly improve your overall health and well-being. So we're here to inspire you and empower you to become your best self so you can go out and make a bigger positive difference in the world. Now, today, the guest is myself. It's just going to be me. And I'm going to be talking about a very important topic that we're all definitely highly invested in. It's food and nutrition. And so the title, Real Food, Real Fast, that came from my first book and best-selling book. I don't know why it's blurred. You can't really see it. It's called Real Food, Real Fast. And basically, it was all about how to make healthy fast food. Because way back then, when I was really a busy personal trainer and working with lots of different clients, I know I was so busy and rushing around, I wasn't eating as healthy as I wanted to to do. And so I figured out, I mean, we all like fast food because it's fast, but not because it's healthy. And unfortunately, that's one of the biggest problems why we have so much chronic illnesses and obesity and people are getting old and sick is because of poor nutrition and eating all these fast, highly processed junk foods, which you just got to get out of your diet. But because we live in this fast, rush-paced society, we do need to have some fast food, but you can make healthy fast food. So in this book, I show you how to get prepared and how to buy the best foods. You know, what are the best foods for you? And there's a lot of different ways to figure that out, and then how to actually get organized in your kitchen and have a prep party, what I call a prep party. So then during the week, you can prepare really fast, healthy meals. And so you can do that. So if you're interested in that book, you can get a copy of it on my main website, agelessliving.lifestyle.com/products. And you can either get a hard copy or you can get a really inexpensive e-copy of that book as well. And we'll talk about some of those things in the book in this episode. So I want to start with kind of an interesting story. I hope many of you know who Jack LaLanne was. Jack LaLanne was really probably the first fitness guru way back, I think, in the 50s. And first guy on TV to show you how to do some exercises and all the important of it. And he was really kind of an amazing person. He's been an icon. He lived to be about 95 and he was still going pretty strong. And so I got to know Jack once in a while. There was a company here in San Diego called Fitness Age, and they were developing some computer programs to determine what your fitness age was. And they hired Jack to be their spokesperson, and they hired me to be their personal trainer for their staff. So I got to meet Jack at a few of their events. And so we had some debates, and we had this debate over, he had this famous saying that exercise is king and nutrition is queen. And in those days, that's a little politically incorrect today, but in those days that meant, you know, the king was the most important and then over the queen. And so I used to argue with him and say, no, Jack, you got it backwards. Nutrition is the king, is most important, and exercise is second. So we couldn't agree on that. But I know I'm right, because if you exercise a lot every day, you can be pretty in good shape and fairly healthy. But if you don't get good nutrition, your health is going to go down pretty quickly, and you're not going to do very well. But on the other hand, if you have good nutrition and you eat a lot of good healthy food, you're going to be pretty healthy and you're probably going to live pretty long. And if you don't exercise, you're not going to your body's not going to look too good. You're not going to be too strong, and you're not going to be really fit, but at least you'll be healthier because of the good nutrition. Anyway, I thought that's kind of an interesting story. So anyway, I think the thing is it's more important to create healthy eating habits than exercise habits, but of course we want you to do both. Now, nutrition is a very complex subject. I mean, we could spend at least a minimum of a whole weekend just going over all the different facets of nutrition. But here's the basic thing is we're all biochemically unique. And what can be a really good food for one person can almost kill another person. I have a friend that if he eats any nuts, you got to rush him to the emergency room because he could almost die. So it's so important to really learn what foods really are best for you and work well for you. And there's a number of ways to do that. I'm going to show you one way that you can do that at home yourself, which is pretty accurate and can be really helpful. But I highly recommend, really, because nutrition is so important, is to get some help. Get a hold of a coach like myself, or a qualified nutritionist, or a naturopathic doctor who can evaluate you and help you to determine what foods are best for you. And of course, these days there's a lot of tests that you can take to determine what foods may be causing you problems and what foods are going to be really good for you. So we're going to go through some basic guidelines that really that apply to everybody. And if you begin to apply these basic food and nutritional guidelines, it's going to be really helpful, and it can solve a lot of your health problems that you're having right now. So we're going to go through, as I mentioned, why we eat, what to eat, how to eat, when to eat, all these important things. So why we eat, this is so important. The reason that you have to keep this in mind, why we eat, it's for energy. We actually, our bodies are heat producing machines, energy producing machines. And I hope you know too that quantum physics and science has proven that everything in the universe is all about energy. So it's all about energy. So how much energy you have is how healthy you're going to be, how long you're going to live, and how successful you can be in your life. So the main reason that we eat is to get energy. And our body requires up to 100 nutrients per day to function optimally. So you have to ask yourself, am I eating food that's going to energize me, or am I eating food that's going to deplete my energy? And we'll get into that just in a minute. So also studies have shown that up to over 99% of Americans are deficient in at least one vital nutrient, and you're really not getting the nutrition that you really need, especially if you are eating primarily highly processed fast junk foods on a regular basis. So this is about experiencing what I call the real food zone. So, well, one more reason before we get into what to eat is why, again, why we eat. Now, again, it's not only for energy. Of course, it's for enjoyment as well. We're such creative human beings. We can create amazing foods and recipes and things, and that's good. That's good to enjoy them, and that's fine as long as you're basically eating really a diet of really good, healthy foods, which we're going to talk about next, that are going to energize you and give you the nutrition you need and give you the energy you need. But again, you also want to enjoy your food as well. Okay, so the next section is then what to eat, and this is really comes down to the key. And so, as my title of my book, the key word there is real food. And how I define real food is that real food, it's what's grown in nature by Mother Nature. It's organic, whole foods, fruits and vegetables, and nuts and seeds, and some whole grains, and some animal products that are raised naturally, out in the pasture, and not any fed any hormones and grains and all those kind of things. So there are some healthy animal products, and they certainly have their value as well. Okay, so it makes it really kind of simple if you think about it. People always wonder, what should I eat? Okay, so real food doesn't come with a label, so you don't have to worry about reading the label if it's got a bunch of junk and chemicals and preservatives and all the kind of things you don't want to put in your body. Mother Nature's food is already packaged perfectly the way it is. So I highly recommend that you realize that if you just make your diet at least 80 to 80% of real food, you're going to be way ahead of most people, and you're going to get some good nutrition as well. So you got to get rid of the highly processed junk foods. So I have a question for you. Have you ever felt tired after you had a meal, or maybe a little sluggish, a little slowed down? Well, there's two reasons for that. Either you overate, you ate too much, And what happens when you eat too much, all the blood has to run into your stomach to start the digestive process. And so it drains your energy for everything else. Or most likely the food that you ate was so depleted in nutrients that you actually go on a negative for creating energy. See, it takes a certain amount of energy to digest and absorb and utilize the food that you ate and get the nutrients out and into your body and then eliminate the waste products. That takes a fair amount of energy itself. So if you're eating highly processed junk foods, they're so low in actual nutrition that you can actually be depleting your energy instead of gaining energy. I hope that makes sense. And I hope that kind of resonates with you. So what you want to do, you want to look at the food you're going to eat before you eat it and say, is this food alive? Is this real food? Is this going to energize me? Or is it probably going to slow me down and maybe take away my energy? So that's a question to always ask yourself. So if you go into the supermarket, most of the real foods are around the perimeter, the fruits, the vegetables, some of the healthy animal products, and then all the things that comes in packages and cans and boxes and all these things on sale and all these things in the aisles. Those are primarily things that, not that there's not some fairly decent packaged food. We do have some fairly decent packaged foods these days, and some organics, some whole foods, and some natural foods. But again, primarily it should be organic whole foods that don't come in a package. Okay, that doesn't have a label on it. So that makes it really simple. But once again, as I said earlier, you have to also get educated to learn what are the foods that are best for you as an individual. Because once again, what might be a health food for somebody else can almost kill somebody else. So it's really important to know what foods may work for you. Another real important food tip on foods is eat a high variety of foods. You see, all different foods, especially fruits and vegetables, there's such a big variety, and they all have different nutrient contents. So if you're just eating a few of the same thing, which we all fall into, I do that myself sometimes. I catch myself just eating the same foods over and over again. And so you really want to stretch yourself out and be a little creative and inventive and try new things and look for different type of foods, especially like, say, fruits and vegetables. There's such a variety and there's so many good things, and they all have different qualities. So the more variety you can get in your diet, the more likely you're getting a balance of nutrients that you need. Another tip on food is foods that have the most color are usually the most nutrient dense. So the real vibrant colors are really the most nutrient dense foods. So again, when you look at your plate, it's not only is it aesthetically pleasing to have lots of different colors, maybe purple or red and green or yellow or orange. Try and get as much color as you can on your plate. And usually things that are white are usually not so nutritious, like white bread, even white potatoes, white rice. Those are lesser on the scale of being nutritious. So try and go for most foods that are really high in color. And one thing I want to really mention about what you need to avoid, in addition to just highly processed foods that come in a package and all the food at these fast food restaurants, is because what's become so popular is energy drinks, so-called energy drinks. And I have to tell you, these things are not giving you energy. They're just stimulants like caffeine and sugar and some herbs that do stimulate you. And that's not giving you energy. That's just artificially stimulating your body. And what that does, it jacks you up for a little while and then it lets you down. And that's not a healthy process that's going to do well for your body long term. So drinking energy drinks is really depleting your energy. It begins to put stress on your adrenal glands and wears them out. And you're going to have long term fatigue. Unfortunately, it's just another thing, just like all these things that we that that are promoted so highly, all this fast junk food and in the past, cigarette smoking and All these things that unfortunately the manufacturers are just out to push on you, they are actually depleting your health. And it's really false advertising. So you get rid of those energy drinks. You don't need them whatsoever. Remember, the most energizing drink is water. And there's many ways to increase your water. You put a little lemon in it, or any kind of, maybe some essential oils in it, or a little bit of fruit. In fact, it makes it more absorbable when you actually put some lemon or some lime or some orange, or whatever you want to add to your, or some berries, add to your water. It actually makes it more easy for your body to absorb it, so you'll get better sorbet. I like to put some trace minerals. You can get little bottles of trace minerals, and put some drops into your water, and not only are you getting the trace minerals that you need, but you're also making your water more absorbable. And also, don't forget to stay hydrated throughout your day. Make sure you can drink. You get plenty to drink. Again, what I like to say about hydration is everybody's different. How much water you should drink, and how much exercise you're doing. So just keep drinking throughout your day. Keep some water, some purified water with you, and throughout your day, every hour at least, have a cup or a cup of water, and that way you probably will never get dehydrated. If you actually get thirsty, you're already on the way to, you're already a little bit dehydrated. So just keep drinking. So what else is important about what to eat? Now, one thing I do want to say as well, I don't believe in being, extreme or fanatic. That don't mean you can never enjoy something you really love. If you really love chocolate cake, well, once in a while, have some chocolate cake. Or, I really like berry pies, or I don't know. Whatever, or maybe some ice cream once in a while. But don't make a habit of it. But but don't be extreme and say I can never eat that. It's always about balance. Everything in the universe is based on, to function optimally, you want to be in balance. Always keep a good balance in mind. Okay, now we're going to get to the next part, is how to eat. And this is just as important. So here's what I'm going to talk just a little bit about. My book, Real Food, Real Fast, is how you can actually prepare healthy meals. But first of all, make sure that you have to realize, here's the first thing. You have to realize that if you want to eat healthy, you have to pretty much make most of all your own food. You can't depend on going out to restaurants. These days there are some organic and some healthier restaurants, but still, for the most restaurants you go out to, you're not getting organic food. You don't know what they're putting in it. You don't really know what you're getting. So most of your meals you got to prepare yourself. So you got to learn how to do it, and it's not that difficult. You just got to get organized. You got to get the right uh, utensils in your kitchen. It's really important to have some good sharp knives. It's really important to have some good cookware. One that I recommend is called Chef's Foundry. They have some really good ceramic coating that really lasts and really works. Most of those cheaper nonstick pans just don't last. They get scratched up. So get yourself some quality cookware, some quality instruments, uh, knives. You need a steamer so you can steam foods. And I use an infrared cooker quite a bit, in addition to a regular oven. And so, again, you just have to, first you got to go and make sure you know where to shop to where you can get the food that you want. So that's another tip. We're all the same. If there's food, if we're hungry and the food we find in our refrigerator is not the best food, but we're still going to eat it, right? So you got to have the food in your house that you want to eat. I actually work with some clients. I actually go to their house and we'll just clean out their cupboard and their kitchens and get rid of all this stuff and show them why it's not, why they should not be eating. And I actually take people on to a market and show them how to buy the best quality foods at the best price. So that's an important thing that can help you as well. Okay, and so you got to plan a menu, a basic menu. What kind of salads are you going to have? What kind of soups are you going to make? What kind of vegetables are you going to steam? If you're going to eat, some fish or chicken or even beef, you got to get it prepared ahead of time, and then you can make really quick things. And also in my book, uh, I have some of my favorite recipes, and all those recipes you can make them in 15 minutes or less. So that's just it's real feasible, and you can do it. And again, that doesn't mean you have to do it all the time, but of course, when you have more time or you have friends over on the weekend, you want to take time to prepare a really nice, mini course dinner, and take your time to prepare a lot of good food and put a lot of love into it. Now, before we go on to what I want to give you my how, well, let's finish up how to eat, and then we'll go into when to eat, and then I've got an important message for you here. So I want to tell you about what I came up with. This is E period A period T period eat, eating awareness techniques. So this is just as important on how to eat, not only how to prepare your food, but how to eat. And the number one point of how to eat is when you eat, just eat. And what that means, don't be distracted. Don't be looking at TV. Don't be having a conversation, a serious conversation where it might be stressing you out. Don't get distracted. Take time out. Eating should be a time of relaxation, rejuvenation, and just enjoy your food. Really focus on your food, and actually tell your body that this food, be thankful that you have this food, and tell your body that this food is going to be really energizing and nutritious for your body, and it will. Your body listen to what your cells, your body's listening to what you say. You're in command of your ship. So tell your body this is going to be great. This is going to be really good, healthy food for us. That's number one. Number two, it's to slow down and chew. This is the one that I always got to be telling myself. I have a tendency to eat too fast. So many things. When you eat too fast, first of all, you're not chewing your food well, and you're not getting also, when you eat carbohydrates, a lot of it, the digestion starts with the saliva in your mouth. So you got to really chew them up good. Fruits and vegetables and grains, got to chew them really good. Now, when you eat protein food, you just chew it so you can swallow it, because it has to stay in your stomach for a while and get digested in an acid medium, where carbohydrates are digested more in your small intestine in an alkaline medium. So slow down, chew your food well, and that way you really enjoy the flavor. And the other bonus of that is when you eat slowly, your body, there's a thing called the apostat at the base of our brain that lets us know when we're full. And if you eat too fast, you can eat so many calories before your brain actually signals to you that you're full. So that's one reason people overeat, because they're eating too fast. So if you slow down, you'll eat less and you'll get better absorption of the nutrients that you eat. And then number three is to stop before you're totally full. Get up from the table. Remember, you're supposed to feel energized, not slow down from when you eat. All right, I got a quick little message for you here. Hello, I'm Rico Cavella, creator of the Ageless Living Lifestyle. If you are concerned about premature aging and you want to avoid disease and old age, and you want to live a more healthy, energetic, and vital long life, I have proven solutions for you. So number one, go to agelessliving.lifestyle.com and take our aging quiz to see how well you are doing. And number two, book your free coaching session with me to discuss your wellness challenges, and I promise to get you going on the right track. You can transform your health and your life, and I can help. All right. I definitely encourage you to go to agelessliving.lifestyle.com and take our aging assessment and book a call with me. Just a friendly conversation. I'll do my best to see what challenges you're having and get you going on the right track. So we're running a little over here. We just got about a minute left. So I'll have to come back another time and tell you more about when to eat. But the main thing is don't eat at least 2 or 3 hours before you go to bed at night, because your body shifts from catabolic to anabolic metabolism, and you need to rejuvenate yourself in the evening. So make sure you're not eating late at night. That's the best tip I can give you. And so it's time to shut it down here. I want to let you know that I do have online wellness coaching programs. Also, you can check those out at agelessliving.lifestyle.com/coaching. And if you like today's episode, Tune in every Wednesday at 6 o'clock and on e360tv.com, and tell your friends about the Fearless Aging TV show. And our next show is going to be with Dr. Tess Mauricio. She's a cosmetic dermatologist, one of the world famous dermatologists. And we're going to talk about how to look and feel your best for life. So the message always is you can live a much healthier, energetic, joyful, long life if you take action on what you learn. So take action. All right. Thanks for being here. Be joyful and be well.